Sometimes you read a sentence and you're like, that's the first time that was ever typed out in the history of planet Earth. A Louisiana teacher sentenced to 41 years in prison for serving her students cupcakes laced with her husband's sperm. First of all, let's just break this down logically. One, the first thing I thought was, why is she not in jail for the rest of her life? 41 years? That's not gonna cut it, bro. She needs to be gone forever. There's no way you can be out of jail after doing something like that. That's nasty. Two, whose idea was that? One of the husband or wife had to bring that up in conversation and be like, hey, you know what we should do? You know how you bring cupcakes to class usually? This is what we should put in the cupcakes next. And then the other person was like, yeah. As a man who doesn't have kids, I'm not saying, like, this woman looks normal. Like, everybody looks normal compared to that action. You wouldn't expect anyone to do that. How can I trust a teacher after this? How can I trust anyone after this? How can I trust anyone after this? I actually want to know how she got caught. Like, did one of the kids, were they like, hey, how did they find out? And again, my main point is, how is she not in jail for the rest of her life? And the husband, too. Get him the fuck out of here. Sometimes
Esau going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, who do rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Barakathum, peace and blessings, salutations as always to the hopefully elect. So these Edomites, we're in a time where the curses are now starting to be put on them. And as it says in Jeremiah, the 49th chapter, that the Lord would make Esau bare and uncover his hidden places. And these Edomites, they can't hide themselves no more. They can't push the narrative of white is right, of they're the beacon of morality. They're the, fathers of civilization. That they're just so, morally righteous and, they need to tell everybody else what to do. No, man. This is the true nature of the Edomite that's being exposed before the whole world. Okay, even right now, you got all this information, leaked documents coming out about Trump and, Epstein and the whole Epstein files. And, apparently, allegedly what's in there is this nigga Trump, giving a, oh man, just give, shining up Bill Clinton's glizzy. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is coming out. And see, this is normal to these Edomites. Like, this is what they do. Like, I even remember, like, back in high school playing football and stuff, man. Like, yo, these Edomites, they be doing some weird shit. Like, in the locker room, like, they be grabbing each other's, rod and, slapping each other's ass, like, and squeezing. I'm like, fuck y'all, you know what I mean? I'm looking like, this shit is crazy. But this is what they do. Like, this was normal. And of course, you even had some Jakes, getting in on that. But our people, like, that's not our spirit. We don't get down like that. But see, when you be around these Edomites for too long, you start to pick up their habits. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to move how they move. But I've been seeing it pretty much for a long time, man. But, even coming into the truth now, it's even more profound because it's like, oh, now you understand why these people are like this. Because, you see, they are the wicked. Okay, they are the most vile people upon the earth. And that's why even when you read in Job, it tells you that they were driven forth from among men into the caves, man, because they were so goddamn nasty that the rest of the nation said, oh, hell no, y'all can't be around us. Y'all some straight nasty, demonic, filthy base people. So they were driven out from the rest of civilization, man. And they were in the caves and they were dealing with animals, braying like donkeys, incest and, PDO foul activity going on rampant, man. That's what these Edomites have been doing. And see, this is who rules over you. And this shows you that there's a God, man, okay? This shows you that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, truly reigns over everything, man, because how the hell did these people get to be raised up to rule over the whole entire earth? These are the same mother effers that get to slam the gavel on you, all right? They get to pronounce judgment on you now. The most corrupt people on the whole planet earth, they get to give you football numbers for stealing, a damn Kit Kat bar. All right. They're in the seat of judgment now. How crazy is that? But see, that's the power of Yahweh Bashmil Shai, to where he's even able to raise up the basis of men. And I believe that's what Daniel 4 and 17, that this by decree of the watchers, and that, roughly paraphrasing, that the Lord setteth up even the basis of men. All right. And the basis of men are the Edomites, these so-called white people, man. All right. These are the people that rule over the earth, that are able to go into nations and create false narratives, pretty much, slander and demonize people, you know what I'm saying, and tell them that they're less than, that, they're the standard of beauty, that they can do no wrong. You see, these are the people that the Lord has set up, man. But call Lord Yahweh Bashmil Shah, to where in that time to now these devils are being exposed for who they truly are. And they've always been this way. All right. The only difference is now they don't control the narrative no more. You know what I'm saying? But they've been doing this shit. Like, you go back to, you name it, the 60s, the early 1900s, even all the way back. Like, you can go back to the very founding of America. Like, I'm pretty sure there's books out there, detailing the grotesque acts that these Edomites were doing, man. Okay, even during slavery, like, I'm sure our people back then was seeing all kind of wicked shit that these Edomites was doing. All right. So this is who they are. This is their nature. Okay. This is how these Edomites get down. So you got this Louisiana teacher, and as you saw, she's just been given a sentence for 41 years for giving sperm-filled cupcakes to her students. Now, you got to be a real demented demon to even have something like that come across your mind. Like, oh yeah, I want to bake some cupcakes, but honey, would you mind, putting a little extra something in these cupcakes for the kids? Like, what type of shit is that, man? But again, this is the mind of Esau. Wicked, man. All right? You got to be a complete demon to even contemplate some vile shit like that. But this is who we dealing with, man. You see? Let's go to this article. Check it out. Female teacher jailed 41 years for giving students cupcakes mixed with her husband's sperm. All right. A teacher in Louisiana has been sentenced to 41 years in prison, which she should get the death penalty for that, man. You know what I'm saying? 41 years is way too merciful. But again, this shows you that this system is for them. Okay? Because I guarantee you that if this was a Jake that did some shit like that, he would be on death row. Okay? He would either be on death row or he would be doing 3 life sentences behind that vile and grotesque act. Okay? But because she's an Edomite, she gets a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? Which her life is pretty much over, but you get the point. All right? They get light sentences when they do stuff like this. But anybody else, they get the book thrown at them. Yeah, sentenced to 41 years in prison for serving her students cupcakes laced with her husband's sperm. Cynthia Perkins, a former teacher from Louisiana, has been sentenced to 41 years in prison after pleading guilty to a series of disturbing crimes. And I got to say this as well. You ever notice that Edomites, they don't really like when they get people to babysit their children, they don't get other Edomites to watch their kids, man. You notice that? Like they don't ever go get a Bob or a Sally to go watch their kids. Who do they usually get? They either get a Hispanic woman or a so-called black woman. You see? That's usually who they get. And I remember back in the day when I was young, man, like my mother, she used to do like a part-time gig type of thing where she would go over to these white people's house, and she used to take me with her sometime. And she used to watch this little white Edomite baby, man. You know what I'm saying? And when they used to come home and stuff, they used to be all happy. Oh, how you doing? Like what did he do today? Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like, I kind of felt like an off vibe about them. Like they were, low key just hating on Jake, man. But these, you know what I'm saying? But they'll call you to come watch their kids because they don't trust other Edomites to be around their children. Even Edomites know that. All right. So, hey, man, this thing runs deep. The crimes brought against Cynthia involve her husband, Dennis Perkins, who was a former sheriff's lieutenant. Check that out. And these be the same devils that be in high positions, man. This damn devil, her husband was a sheriff's lieutenant. So if he's doing vile stuff like this, just imagine the other stuff that he's doing within law enforcement. And of course, law enforcement is a good old boys club. You know what I'm saying? To where they pretty much cover for each other with anything. But again, these are the people that rule over you. These are the people that are able to pronounce judgment upon you, man. Completely unrighteous. The crimes were revealed in 2019 when authorities discovered substantial evidence on the couple's electronic devices linking them to multiple acts of abuse and misconduct. You know what I'm saying? And when you think of these Edomites, they're the main people that you think of when it comes to bestiality, pedophilia, you know what I'm saying? Incest and all these other, vile acts, man. You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with children and, doing, putting bodily fluids within cupcakes and shit, razor blades within candy. Like, these are the people that are known for this type of shit, man. Jeffrey Dahmer, son of what's his name? Dave Berkowitz, which he was a small hat. You know what I'm saying? Like the worst Ted Bundy, like the worst serial killers that you can think of, they were all Edomites. Okay? So these people are truly the children of Satan. They're the devil. All right, during her trial, she admitted to multiple offenses, including serving her students cupcakes contaminated with her husband's bodily fluids. Cynthia agreed to a plea deal and testified against her husband. Dennis is currently serving a 100-year prison sentence without the possibility of parole. And good for them damn devils, but they really just should have been put down, you know what I'm saying, to alleviate the whole issue. You know what I mean? Then when you go to this video right
Hold
here,
on a second. Trump did.
Okay. DJT blowing Bubba message in Epstein emails under scrutiny. And you even got some people now coming out saying that Bubba wasn't even Bill Clinton, that Bubba was a damn animal. Okay, which again, this is what Esau do, man. Straight out the caves. What's that old saying? You can take the devil out the cave, but you can't take the cave out the devil. Okay, because this is the same very vile stuff that they was doing with within the caves, man. All right, and they out here now in a suit and tie. Okay, they get to clean themselves up and shave, with a clean, smooth face, man, and they get to stand before you and tell you what to do. This is some bullshit, man. But you know what I'm saying? Call Lord Yahweh Shai that this signals the end of the Edomite. Okay, we about to get the hell out of here, man. And the further that we get towards the end, the more that the man of sin will continue to be revealed. So Donald Trump blowing Bubba message and Epstein emails under scrutiny. And you see most of these politicians, really, I would say all of them, man, are undercover moles. You know what I'm saying? Like they all had to do some, vile act to get where they at, man, because they all got blackmail on each other. So if any of them get out of line, or they want to feel like they want to expose something, or they want to, get frisky, all right, then they can just bring out the videos and do it like that. Same thing that they did to Diddy. Okay, Diddy tried to get bucked with his handlers, and look where he at now. Okay. So this shows you, man, that we live in a completely corrupt, wicked society run by the devil. Check this out.
Did what to Clinton? If you're not aware, we have a massive Epstein files update. On November 12, 2025, the House Oversight Committee dropped over 20,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein's emails. And one from his brother Mark in 2018 has the internet buzzing. It mentions Trump, Clinton, and Putin in one of the weirdest ways that you could imagine. The email that I'm referring to, it was a message from Mark Epstein to Jeffrey Epstein. And here's the email verbatim. Mark to Jeffrey. How are you doing? A while back you mentioned you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? Jeffrey to Mark. All good. Bannon is with me. Referring to Steve Bannon. Mark, back to Jeffrey. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Now who's Bubba? Bubba is widely known as Bill Clinton's nickname. Jeffrey to Mark, and I thought I had Surus, which is Yiddish for problems. So Jeffrey's saying, and I thought I had problem. This is released by the United States government. Now we know why Donald did not want these emails to come out. And of course, we have Donald Trump coming out on Truth Social saying, oh, it's all a Democratic hoax. At this point, that's the only hand he has to play, because there's reference to him potentially being blackmailed by Putin and by Jeffrey himself with information, who knows, it's all alleged, off Bubba. Blackmail's running rampant in the United States government, and these people are going to get exposed. We want the full files. We want the full knowledge. I don't care how heinous and dark.
Yeah, it's all coming out. And see, this is all from Yahweh Bashmil Shai, because the fact that Esau's at the end, the Lord is exposing him for the devil that he is. And really, even Trump doing something like this is light work for these devils. Like, this is the bare minimum. These devils are doing way more heinous stuff that is really unspeakable, right, behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why whenever that one reporter asked Trump, do you think you'll get into heaven? He said, no, like, I don't think there's anything that can get me into heaven. You know, this is my heaven right now. All right? This is the base man's heaven to where he can do all this vile shit. Like, you think this is going to be going on in the kingdom of heaven? And see, in the kingdom, Esau's worst gripe is going to be that he doesn't have access to children. You know what I'm saying? Esau, like, him being in slavery is like, you know, it is what it is. But him not having access to children, oh, man, that's going to completely destroy his spirit. You know, him not having access to dogs, animals, you know what I'm saying? Him not, you know, being able to get off with another man of the same sex. You know what I'm saying? That's really what's going to hurt Esau in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Because his spirit is going to be burning to get into that. But it's not going to be happening, right? Because righteousness is going to be within the earth, man. You see? So this is to show you who rules over the planet Earth, who's in charge, who's in power, that these people, they're completely vile, all right? And that they need to be put down. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmil Shai, very soon they will. Because one thing about this, man, we not going to stop exposing these goddamn devils, okay? Because as much slander as they've thrown out on Jake and, you know, all this rhetoric and stuff like that, nah, man, we going to expose you goddamn devils, okay? And furthermore, the Lord is with us to expose you, okay? So the expose, the Scorpio is on Esau right now, okay? And guess what? The closer that we get towards this man being destroyed, the worse that the expose is going to get. And hey, you're gonna hear about some crazy shit come out on these damn devils, man. This is only the tip of the iceberg. You know what I'm saying? And I can speculate what's in those Epstein files is beyond anything that you could even think of that these devils are doing behind closed doors, man. All right? Just as the scriptures say, who seeth us and who knoweth us. Okay? So you can only, well, I don't even want to imagine, but you can only speculate what these devils got going on behind closed doors when nobody's watching, no cameras, like eyes wide shut type of shit, man. Like these devils are out there when it comes to their wickedness. You know what I'm saying? But let's get some scriptures. Oh boy, I'm telling you. Esau's out of here, man. Call on Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Jeremiah 49. Let's get verse 7. Prophecy against Edom. Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? And this is why his government is falling apart, because he don't have the wisdom to rule no more. Because at one point in time, the Lord gave Esau wisdom to be able to rule efficiently. Right? That's when he was in the strength of his kingdom. Now that he's on the decline, his wisdom is being stripped. And that's why you see all the government heads now are starting to turn against one another, and everybody's trying to blackmail this one, blackmail that one. You know, people want to bring out this and bring out that. Listen, that's all the confusion that's being brought down on these devils from Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Why? Because this man's at the end of his reign. Jeremiah 49:8. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him, which is now. The Lord is visiting these Edomites now. And this is the day that they never thought would come. See, Esau never thought that he would reach a point where he would be in adversity, where his dirt will be brought to the forefront. All right? Verse 9, if grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare. Meaning the Lord is stripping this man. You know what I'm saying? He's taking away that lily white covering, and he's exposing Esau for what he is, which is a filthy, degenerate devil. Okay? And the scriptures also say that if it be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, all right, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So that right there shows you that the nigga wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you sold your blessing, like you ain't give a damn what your descendants after you would have, like you ain't give a damn about none of that. You said, shit, I'm trying to eat right now. Let me get some of that pottage, Jake. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry, bro. You know, like that act alone right there shows you that you know what I'm saying, that Esau was not right from the very beginning. All right. Jeremiah 49:10 again, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. So the Most High is spoiling his devil, man. Okay, he's taking away his wisdom. He's taking away his kingdom, and he's being shown for what he truly is, man, which is the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, and he always has been. Okay, well, you get Job 30, right? Let's go to Job 30 real quick, because Job 30 tells you about the Edomite, all right? Job 30 in verse 1 at the top. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. All right, so Job said, I wouldn't even set these damn devils with the dogs of my flock, because we know how these Edomites like to get down with dogs. All right, verse 2, yeah. Whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut of mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. And yo, them Edomites love that juniper, man. Okay, the Edomites will talk about juniper all day long. Yeah, man, you know, you just get some juniper root, you cut it up real nice, you make a nice, you know, mash out of it. You know what I'm saying? Get some of the oil. Chef's kiss. Okay, that's how the Edomites love that juniper root, man. You know what I'm saying? Verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. And Yahushua said, what, the thief cometh not, but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right, because you know when Esau come around, some shit about to get took. All right, every time you get paid, this man steal from you. All right, he got your hands in your pockets before you even get to see your money, man. This man is the thief. This man go around the four corners of the earth, stealing people's resources. All right, lying on them, you know, putting false narratives on them so that they can capitalize off of the resources. That's why they're trying to go to war with Venezuela and Nigeria right now. Because why? There's some damn covetous devils, and they want the oil and the natural resources that are in those lands, because these nations ain't trying to let Esau, you know, in there. So now he's trying to go in by force, man. Why? Because he's a goddamn thief. Okay, verse 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. When you read Obadiah, it tells you what? Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Okay, which their original cave home was what? Mount Seir, Petra. Okay, then the Most High drove them out of there. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, after the fall of Rome, they were driven into the Caucasus Mountains, man. Okay, so these are the OG cave people of the earth, man. OG caveman eat. All right. Verse 7, among the bushes they braid. And to braid, all right, when you go into bray, it means what? The loud, harsh cry of a donkey or mule, to neigh, to roar. Okay, so these devils were so low, all right, that they were out there in the wilderness, in the caves, braying like donkeys, man, braying like wild animals to communicate. That's how low that they were. Under the nettles, they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth, okay? And what we went into in that video with that teacher, man, that's only one example. Like, I'm pretty sure if you just Google pedophilia on Google, or you Google bestiality, you're going to see a plethora of articles of these Edomites doing some vile acts, man. Because why? That's what's in their spirit to do. All right, these are the children of Satan, man. Verse 9, now am I their song, Yeah, I am their byword. Right? So these devils get to call us the, N word and call us all these bywords and stuff like that. But they're the real base people of the earth, man. Okay, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like Esau was on top for a minute. Now he being brought down low. And his shame is being uncovered. You see? If you go to let's get Isaiah 14, okay? Because hey, I love to see it, man. Like I love to see the downfall of our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah 14 and now you know what? Let's hold this. Okay, let's hold that. Let's get Second Thessalonians, right? The man of sin, right? Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, in verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power in signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Okay, so even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, which is Esau, man. Okay, these Edomites were set up to be adverse. They were set up to be the adversary to righteousness, man. Okay, what Jake naturally is in the spirit, Esau is the direct opposite of that. Okay, because you have to understand, man, Jake was created, we were created to be the righteous, all right? But through the way of the wicked, we were seduced and went off, okay? But it's, what I'm saying, it's it's a scripture that says that the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces him. You know what I'm saying? So Jake is naturally morally upright. You know what I'm saying? When you get around these Edomites and these heathen nations, Jake sees the freedom that they have, right? Which is not really freedom, but you know what I'm saying? Because all they're free to do is just do wickedness, you know what I'm saying? But Jake sees that, and Jake wants to be like the heathen. And that's been the history of our people, man, always going into the way of the heathen. And that's why the Lord had cut us off, you know what I'm saying? But in Jake's natural habitat, if you will, Jake is morally upright and more excellent than his neighbor, okay, which is Esau and these other heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? But when Jake get around and start to get a feel for these heathen, and you know what I'm saying, how they just wild and out there, man, you know what I'm saying, Jake just loses his damn mind. Okay? But that's not the spirit of our people. That's the spirit of Esau. You know what I'm saying? To just be a wild degenerate. You know what I'm saying? Whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. But verse 8 says that wicked shall and then shall that wicked be revealed, which he's being revealed right now. And like I said, it's only the tip of the iceberg, man. It's going to be way more stuff that's going to come out on these Edomites, you know? We can close out in Isaiah 14. Because in the kingdom, this what they going to say, all right, to this Edomite, to these devils, all right? Isaiah 14. And, let's get 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You see that? So that's the inward desire of these devils, to be like the Most High. And that's why you see they moving the way that they moving with this NWO, with this digital technocracy, man, because they're trying to become gods upon the earth, but it's not going to work. Right, verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. This is going to be in the kingdom when Esau is completely taken out of his rule, when he's put in slavery, right? This is what the nation is going to say. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. Because, see, after the heathen serve their 1,000 years of captivity, we're going to deal with them righteously. You know what I'm saying? Like once they serve their captivity, their prison sentence, they're going to be allowed to, have their lands and have their families and things of that nature. I mean, they're still going to be under us. They're still going to have to pay us tribute and keep the feast and all that type of stuff. But the heathen are going to be all right. Okay. But Esau, as we're going to read, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou, speaking of Esau, the wicked, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. You read down, talks about prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. All right, so these Edomites are through, man. Okay, and that also lines up with Obadiah 1:18, that there shall be none remaining of the house of Esau. They're the only nation that is promised no mercy by Yahweh Bashmel Shai. And when you look at what they do, man, you can see why. Okay, because the wicked, they're here to push forward wickedness, right? But in the kingdom, wickedness is going to be rooted out. So it's going to be no need for these people to be around no more. They're going to be completely done away with, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm waiting on that day. You know what I'm saying? I know other brothers can share the same sentiment, man. But hey, Esau is out of here. He's continuing to, his degeneracy and sins are being brought to the light, man. So this is a beautiful time to be alive. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Call Allah Yahweh Bashmel Shai Bashim Rakakadash. Until next time, Shalom to the elect.